Okay, so good evening, everyone. Before we start the debate, I would like to ask all the debaters to state your name and your position, starting from the government side.
Good evening, everyone. I am Baiduri, the PM, the government side. First speaker, thank you.
Next speaker.
Evening, everyone. I'm Amar Akmal bin Wazabidi. I am the government whip from the government side. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Muhammad Israfikin. I am the Deputy Prime Minister from the government side.
Okay, thank you. Now can the opposition side now introduce yourselves?
So, my name is Alia binti Jafrizan and I am the first speaker for the opposition side.
Yes, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Maya and I am the deputy leader of the opposition side.
Hi, I am Irjina Sofia. I am the third speaker of the opposition side.
All right, thank you. So the House will come to order. I am pleased to welcome you all to the second round of USIM Vice Chancellor Debate Championship 2022. I would like to remind the members of the floor they may only raise points of information in the constructive speech and only after the first minute and before the last minute of the speech. Also, please ensure that your internet connection is stable and your voice is audible. Are there any other inquiries before we start?
From me, no, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so since there's no question, we will move on. Our motion for today is the House would stop funding space exploration. And with that, I call upon the Prime Minister to deliver her speech.
Greetings, everyone. So this is a shuttle, this is a spaceship, and shoo! Good evening, everyone. Thank you to Speaker of the Hall and thank you to ladies and gentlemen. I am Baidu Ambrosi, the Prime Minister from the government side. And today we are debating about the motion the House would stop funding space exploration. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, what is funding? Funding can be defined as a financial aid, financial aid for something. And then about the space exploration is really relate to the astronomy and space technology to explore the outer space by crew, and that costs some billion. Okay, all right, and it was being conducted by the NASA. And today in this debate, we from the government side strongly support this motion as it will bring benefit to the humanity. And we have 3 points today. One is the cost. Number 2 is the space pollution. And the third one is space exploring. And we want to focus on the environment. And the second and third point will be explained by my second speaker. So and for the third speaker will rebut and sum up our team case. All right. So back to our case about the space exploration. All right. After decades, we know that we have another planet. Earth is not the only planet in this space, isn't it? Or I believe everyone knows about that. Okay, but we only, okay, there's the moon. I can see, there's the Mars. We know that, but the astronaut already go to the space for several times, many times, but is there any benefit? Is there any direct benefit to us? No. And even that about the cost of spaceship, it really costs a lot of money. Okay, send approximately 49 billion to shuttle the spaceship. Shuttle means this is spaceship and this is shuttle. The cost just to shuttle it is 49 billion and $444 million to construct, launch and facilitate for a spaceship. For a spaceship, I repeat, for a spaceship, $444 million. Such a huge number, isn't it? And in total, referring to NASA 2021, in total, $92 billion on the space sector in the space sector is used. So why not money? In our perspective, money is better used to help people, isn't it? To help the humanity. And why do we want to say the cost is not help the humanity? Is science may well give us good things. We all know Velcro come from NASA, but why bother spending all this money exploring space and finding out there was water on Mars at some point in the last few thousand years? A few thousand years. We already have water in the earth, isn't it? Or I even take bath just now. I have water. Alhamdulillah, I have water. And even we can see we have a lot of water resources. And when these same great minds could be applied to finding better ways to power humanity's insatiable desire for energy to feeding the starving millions around the globe, isn't it? And generally making life down here better before looking up into the heavens. Wake up. We need to wake up. We need to see the reality of the life. It seems the authoritative powers have their heads out way up in the clouds, isn't it? The needs of humanity should always come first. While there are people on earth who need help, they should be helped. When a person needs help, they need shelter, they need water. Why not we use the water from the earth, isn't it? We need to help them first before we explore the outer space. Okay, rather than seeing money spent on sending robots into other planets, humanity is the #1 priority. Keeping the human race alive is a necessity. I want to live. I want to keep alive, not just sending robots. Okay, and alternatively, space exploration is a desire, just a desire from the authoritative. If we put our desires before our needs, then everyone loses out on a better standard of living. Sure, it's great that NASA can elevate technology to the next level time and time again. It sure is a good thing. It's impressive, isn't it? But so why not make technology that directly benefit to us? We have a lot of crises in the earth. We have a lot of humanity issues in this earth. In the Africa, in the Palestine and other countries, there are a lot. Why don't we focus on the problems and the crisis that we have today rather than we are searching for another things that actually we already have them about water, isn't it? And as there are millions around the world who are starving to death. When people spend more and more money on space technology, they should realize they are the killers of the humanity. And also, why took so much time and money to learn about Mars or any other planet when we know so title about our own? We should learn more about Earth and the ocean before wasting time and money on the space exploration. Okay, this is what I learned from the management things. We, as a person, in any sector, we have 5 main resources. All are start from M. Man, money, resources. Man, money, resource, man, method, and others. But the main point is the man. You need to save the human first. Okay. As for the burden of proof today, we want the opposition to answer us how stop funding space exploration can be an issue for our country. And so that, again, I stance my motion, which is the House would stop funding space exploration because it didn't give direct benefit to the humanity. We need to save the humanity. We need to save the life, not just killing them again and again. We need to be better for a better generation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the Prime Minister for her speech. The speaker spoke for 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Now I would like to call upon the opposition leader to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Test, am I audible? Okay. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, how sure you are that this space exploration is not giving benefit to the people of the world? Thank you for giving me time to speak tonight. So first of all, we from the opposition side truly believe that to this motion, this House would stop funding space exploration should not go through because we believe that this space exploration can give so much benefits since it's not only focusing on the technology, and etc. But you need to know that this space exploration also gives lots of other benefit that actually you didn't know at the first place. So before I start my speech, I would like to rebut the point given by the first speaker of the government side. So you have stated that the reason why you didn't want to give funding to the space exploration because we need to prioritize the human rights, the humanity that have here in our world, which is there's lots of starving and other issue arise. First of all, you need to know that this space exploration is not only focusing on or only give money to just explore the space without any objective and etc. They have the reason. First of all, you need to know space exploration is not only narrowed down to know what kind of planet or other solar system there on the space. They also help us to provide scientific theories that can help us to at least overcome any weird phenomena that actually related to the space itself, ladies and gentlemen. Because we need to know that why we can stand here on the Earth, because we have the gravity. If we don't learn about how the gravity will affect us or anything will happen later, if we don't actually funding for the space exploration, do you need that we actually save at the first place? No, because here we can see that if we don't prepare for the worst, because space is also one of us, ladies and gentlemen, they can also provide harm to us if we neglect it at the first place. So I don't think that, besides, I believe that all the countries here on the earth have their own fund to overcome the humanitarian problems that actually not important into this debate. We need to know that why the space exploration is important, ladies and gentlemen. So we from the opposition side, we believe that this motion should go through because both of the stakeholder, the citizen and the government itself, gain lots of benefit when we do this space exploration. So the first point that I will bring today is that by doing space exploration, we can protect our planet and environment. That's why we need to fund it. And my second speaker will talk about how this is create more scientific and technical jobs, and also we also stated that how by funding this space exploration can make us cooperating with countries around the world and give benefit to the government, ladies and gentlemen. So moving on to my point, which is it protecting our planet and environment. So as we can see here, space, as I stated before, space exploration is not only we need to know that, oh yeah, there's a Mars on the space. Oh yeah, there's a sun and moon, etc. There's water on the Mars, ladies and gentlemen. No, the scope about space exploration is huge. It helps us to do the Earth observation, and also one of the communication also can be used by sending technology to the space, for example, satellite, ladies and gentlemen. So, as you know, satellite, one of the space technology that very commonly used, can help us to provide data and spread the data fast, which is 0.22 seconds for one data. So, and that shows how fast we can gain data if something happens. So since this satellite is one of the important observation tool for all skills, for example, forecasting operation, we human already can gain lots of benefit. First of all, we need to know that we, the human, already make a lot of destruction here on the earth. And by that, what happened is we create lots of climate change effect, which actually harm us. Yes, please.
Who?
Please.
Okay. You say that we send satellite so we can have data. So for the first, we have been sending a lot of satellite to get a lot of data. How much that we need to send more? How is this? How much we're going to fill the space to fill the space with satellite?
Okay, thank you.
My data.
Okay, thank you. Now you say okay. Now the motion is about funding the space exploration, and you say that we already set a lot of satellite in order to gain more data about how the forecasting operation can improve our precision. So, do you think that we actually not funding enough for the space exploration in order us to have more information to work fast in order to help the human here on the earth when something happen and will harm the human itself? So, so that's why we need to. That's why moving on to my point that our current technology need to be improved, and this show that the funding itself is not very much. It's not enough, which means we need to keep funding. It's not like we need to increase the number of funding. No, we just need to keep funding in order to maintain the information that we have in order to save the human here if anything happen, and we need the data from the satellite itself, ladies and gentlemen. Since we know that we have made the climate change effect is become more severe. Besides that, the Earth itself and the space itself also need monitoring, since the number of space debris is also increased. It does need to send more satellites and etc. We need to improve more, and that's why we still need the fund. So I believe that if we stop the fund, can you guarantee that we have enough money to maintain the maintenance of the space observer in order to give info if anything happen? No, that's why we cannot stop, ladies and gentlemen. We need to think. The long term run. So before I end my speech, I would like to state that this house would stop funding space exploration. This motion should not go through. That's all I beg to oppose.
Okay, thank you to the opposition leader for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes 30 seconds, and we shall now hear the speech from the Deputy Prime Minister, and the floor is his. Thank you.
Can you give me some minutes? Kejap.
Sure.
Kejap. All right, you may start.
Okay. Good night, speakers of the hall, vice presidents of dedicators, accurate timekeeper, worthy opponents, comrades, and last but not least, members of the floor. Today, we are debating the resolution that this house would stop funding space exploration. We, on the government side, or the government team, strongly agree on this resolution. First, I will refuse and rebut the point given by the first ministers of the opposition, and then I will give my point. So, first and foremost, the first ministers of opposition state that we already have budget to overcome this humanitarian problem. We have, but as we can see, as far as till now, even it's 2021, with the technologies and with whatever improvement that we have, we still have people suffer. We still have this kind of issue. We still have a lot of humanitarian issue, a lot of issue happening on Earth that affects the human. So why don't instead of using this fund to use towards the space exploration, we can add more, so we can solve more and more and more. So till at one period, we will have no of these problems anymore. Because if we keep funding exploration, till when we are going to space exploration? Till when? The objective is not clear, as there's a lot of things to discover in the space. So there's no, what are they actually searching? What are they actually want to do? Okay, moving on for the next rebuttal, that they say that we are not funding. They say on my rebuttal, rebutting to my points just now, that they are not funding enough, or because we already send a lot of satellites. What we're going to say is we already fund enough. We have a lot. We already fund enough to satellite. Till when? Till when are we going to fill the space with satellite just to collect data that we already can already absorb from another satellite? We can already say that a lot of this space exploration is not just be done by just a country. There's a lot of country that also space explore. They explore their space. So when there's a lot of countries, so why can't this country just share this? When there are going to be a lot of satellites on the space, which is going to be there might be collision and things happen on the space, moving in to my point, which is space pollution. So space pollution is where contaminations of space from non-working decommunication satellite and abandoned rocket and debris. So NASA itself stated that 100 million pieces of debris were tracked on the space. This is a lot of number. This is not a small number. 100 million pieces of debris. So when there's a lot of debris, so this will increase the collision probability when they want to send for space exploration. So when although they say that this space collision happens to 5 to 10 years, so we are not 5 to 10 years. It is not like the probability is small, but we know that we explore space, we send stuff to space. We also doesn't send space space operation as a lot. So when there's a collision, or this could make those rockets, they could fall back to the Earth, which could burn up the rocket atmosphere. And we can see in 2021 itself, there's a rocket, there's something from space that fall to Earth, and we are very, very lucky that they doesn't hit the Earth. So NASA also stated that debris collide with something. There's a lot of debris collide with satellite also. So if they're gonna keep sending satellite data, so they also contaminate the space. So there will be collision. These things is gonna make a waste on the fund itself. They send and they collide, and then so what's the point? What data we're going to get on that? Because Russian space rocket and also US space rocket has been collide with a lot of debris. This is a lot of wastage, we can say, as my first speaker already stated, that the cost to send this kind of rocket, this kind of satellite will cost a lot. So moving on. Okay, is there any QI? Yes.
QI, please.
Yes.
Okay, what if the asteroid fall down to the Earth without the satellite? Can we predict that the asteroid will come if we don't have the satellite?
Okay, we have a lot of technology on Earth itself, my lady. We have a very telescope. We have a very big telescope, my lady. We have the government. We can invest more on this kind of thing. We can invest more on things that we can observe from the Earth itself. Okay, moving on for my next point, which is Earth exploring, where humanity should always come first, where the Earth should be, which this Earth exploring, because the effect, because space exploration will also give an effect for air pollution, which burn rocket propellants. There's a lot of carbon going on from Earth, which is very, very, they could say that there's a probability that this is just a small number of pollution, but are we going to take those chances? Are we going to add up and more and more and more and more? So I believe that, what I've told you that we have rebut the points given by the nonsense point given by the governments, given by the opposition side, and we also presented that we should not find the space exploration because of space pollutions, and we should explore more on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the Deputy Prime Minister for his speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes and 34 seconds. We shall now hear the speech from the Deputy Leader of Opposition, and the floor is hers. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today, our motion is this House would stop funding the space exploration, and we as the opposition team truly disagree with this motion. All right. So moving on to my rebuttal points of the government teams. I believe that they did not fully understand our motion today, because we actually are talking about funding the space exploration, but we keep on talking about human rights and what's on. So I would like to tell you guys that, okay, we are talking about human rights, but don't you know that there are actually separate organizations that are funding about the humanitarian rights itself? And as an example, the United Nations, they have many other organizations. They have the fund itself that they created to help the humanitarian problems around the world. Okay, so I also want to tell that we are talking about space exploration. You have to understand that space exploration is a big topic itself. Okay, not any country can actually just simply do space exploration like India, or maybe less developed country. They don't have the space exploration for them. Okay, so the examples of a country that are actually doing the space exploration is Russia, France, China, and also the United States. Okay, so we can see that these countries don't actually have that many humanitarian problems that they are actually facing. So that is my point on what they were talking about, keep giving the fund that we are giving to the space exploration to humanitarians themselves. Okay. Also, I would like to, sorry. Okay, so I would like to recap some of my first speaker's point. We have been talking about how actually space and satellite can actually help us prevent any unforeseen circumstances that may actually damage us more. Okay, so maybe like they talk about how the space pollution and debris can actually, how the satellite can collect themselves and can actually fall back to Earth. But don't you guys think that if we talk about that, how can we actually know that there are like misfortune that are happening? We need satellite to detect. He was talking about maybe we can use the things that are on Earth to detect that. We are talking about things that are happening on space. We need satellite to know what is happening on space. Okay, so moving on to my first point before that. So so that is why we as the government team, we as the opposition team believe that space exploration provide a scientific theory that could provide a scientific theory to help us develop a better life. Okay, so moving on to my first point. Okay, my first point is space exploration can actually create scientific and technical jobs. Okay, space exploration actually brings together many intelligent people and arrange them to work on the same and on some very diverse issues. Okay, so what I'm trying to say this is that we can actually, maybe we see that creating jobs and have many job opportunities is a very cliche issues and what so on. But actually, there are many things that there are many people who are involved behind the scene from the space exploration itself. Okay, one of the jobs, examples of jobs that we have, that we know scientists and aerospace engineers, but there are also other technicians that could, like they said about the shuttle, about the cost of the shuttle, to build the shuttle itself rather than the rocket. Shuttle and rocket, different thing. So the shuttle and the rocket are two different things. So we have, doesn't that mean we have more people that are actually involved? Okay, so it actually wait. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so it actually provides an a better job opportunity. Okay, so we can actually although we did not see too many people that are, maybe we only see the astronauts and also the scientists and the aerospace engineers, but there are actually many people behind that who are actually involved in this space exploration. Okay, so what am I trying to say is that if we okay, the do you know what are the average salary of the aerospace engineer? They actually are getting enormous amount of 100 more than 100,000 US dollars per year. They are gaining that much over 1 year. Okay, so what do you think if we increase this much of people? This much of people can actually increase our country economy wealth, and also in the long run, it is actually, if we see in a way, it is actually a win-win situation for both the government and also the need itself. I'm sorry, wait. Okay, so and it actually like I said, it's actually a very good win-win situation, because in the long run, they are gaining. Although we are funding the space exploration, the people who are working are actually giving back to the government itself. Moving on to my second point, which is we can actually cooperate with countries around the world. So what I'm trying to talk about here is that we can actually have some diplomatic relationship. So let me cut to the case. So there are actually I can give some example, like the Ukrainian. They have been showing lots of interest about the space exploration itself. So as we all know, the Russia and Ukraine is having conflicts among themselves. The Russia is invading the Ukrainian. So what can actually Ukrainian gain by actually funding the space exploration is that, like we can see, actually the Canadian radar satellite actually helped Ukrainian fight off the Russia invasion. It actually happened just now, because since Ukrainian, they have been showing interest in the space exploration. So the countries that are in the same field on the space exploration help them, because they have diplomatic relationship. Okay, so I think that is okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think That is the most important thing that we should understand, because like my first speaker talked about, we are actually not increasing the fund. We are actually keep on giving the fund in itself, and that is all from us. I rest my case. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the Deputy Leader of Opposition for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Now I would like to call upon the government whip to deliver his message. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. So I will start my speech in 3, 2. I'm sorry. Uh, okay, I'm sorry. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. One space shuttle launch cost is $450 million. Imagine how many families can we feed with that amount of money. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you for our beautiful speaker, and for the timekeeper, and of course for our appreciated audience right here. And also the same thing goes to the opposition team and both of my comrades right here. So here I am, would like to convince you guys why this house should stop funding for space explorations. So I would like to repeat. The 3 points of the 3 points that my comrades have said, which is firstly what my Prime Minister have said. It is costly. The fund, the space exploration is as the fact that I have said that one space shuttle launch cost is $450 million. So could you imagine how many families could we feed or could we protect from that amount of money? Can't you have any sympathy for the poor family that can't even afford the families? They can't even put the food on the table for their whole family. Even the fact that the main objectives of the government is to maximize welfare for our citizens. So why? So I'm asking right now, why do we be the one who need to keep on funding on the space exploration? Since as the fact that I was mentioned, that the government is the main objective of the government is to maximize welfare for our citizens. Moving on to my next point, which is the point that my Deputy Prime Minister have said, that there is still a lot of places on the earth that haven't been explored. Then why do we need to explore the space again? I mean, Malaysia have been participated in the space exploration since before 2007, and in 2007, which is the year that Sheikh Muzaffar Shah have explored to the space. So right now I want to say that there is still a lot of places on the earth that haven't been explored. As you all know, on earth we can explore a unique places as a unique island like Socotra Island, or a unique river, a unique jungle where we can find a unique plants, a unique animals, or other unique creature. And as the fact, meanwhile, none of a proven fact saying that we have found another unique creature on the space, or otherwise, even if there is even if there is a proof about some of the human Earth, the people who live on Earth found the creature up on the space, it is still being clarified as untrue. And also moving on to my next point. Day by day, space pollution keep on increasing, and why is that? So this is the point that also have been said by my Deputy Prime Minister, which is Riz. Thank you, Riz. So I would like to reinforce right here that day by day, space pollution keep on increasing, and why is that? The biggest reason are old satellite that can't be used anymore. However, we can't do anything of that because the satellite is the main reason we follow the advancement of the technology, as we can see it through our smartphones, computer, television channel, and so on. But for now, we already achieved the advancement of the technology the way other countries have achieved. So I think this is my point, which is I'm pretty sure that we already have that. So right now is the right time for us to stop the funds for the the funds for self-exploring. So because it means, hello, can you hear me? Still okay. So stop funding space exploration is decrease the possibility of making the space pollution getting worse. Moving on to my next point, which is I want to rebut a few points from the opposition side, which is uh, uh, protect planet and environment. Okay. Point. So, how could wonder just how could you protect an environment by ascending to the space? Are you trying to find Yoda or Luke Skywalker there? What I mean is there is also another way to protect the planet and environment, which is decrease the pollution issues that related to the air pollution, water pollution, or maybe the space pollution, even better. And now, how can we do that? Here's an idea. The project before space exploration pollution it causes space pollution. And the other point sorry. Space exploration, still doing the space exploration. Sorry. Yet is to create a job. Yet the unemployment number in this country is still high, which are 694.4 thousand unemployed person in Malaysia. The statement being published on 10 January 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, we didn't stop funding space explorations yet. So the other point that have been said by the opposition side, which is cooperating in this country around the world. So the question that I have right now, can't you be more civilized by cooperating with other country with a normal way? I mean, by meeting on a normal meeting of the unity such as NATO or United Nations maybe. So I would like to say that right here, I have never been prouder to say that the government will win this debate by standing with our belief that this house should stop funding for space exploration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the government whip for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes and 13 seconds. We shall now hear the speech from the opposition whip, and the floor is hers. Is there a problem with the opposition rep?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Sorry for taking a long time. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good morning to the wait. Good evening to the adjudicators and members of the floor. Today, we as opposition sides believe oppose the motion that this House would stop funding on space exploration. Before I start my rebuttals and also recap some of my summaries, I would like to state our stance, which we believe that space exploration provides a scientific theory that could provide a scientific. We believe that space exploration provide a scientific theory to help us develop a better life in the future. So, before that, I would like to rebut some of the points from the government teams. The first one is when she said that we need some water. We use the water from Earth. We don't have to use the water from the other planet, and we don't have to discover instead of using money to discover useless things and Mars or Moon. Why would you conduct why would you make exploration about the space? Because we believe that when we are looking at the future, even Elon Musk stated that he is trying to explore about the second Earth that could actually become a second Earth, which is the Mars right now, and people are excited about it and they wanted to know more about it. And another thing about the humanitarian, basically, like my prime minister, deputy or leader, deputy opposition team, she said that the humanitarian didn't really involve much in our space funding because this thing actually focusing on the development country. We don't focus on just a small country. We're focusing on a development country that doesn't need a humanitarian issues. They do have humanitarian issues, but they already have the organization itself and they already funding a lot on that. So we don't really have to care about that thing. Another thing is about the debris. When we actually, he said that when you have a shuttle, you have a rocket, it actually just fall down to the earth and it happened a collision or whatsoever. But what happened if you don't have a satellite on our earth? We can't predict when the asteroid is coming to our earth. We can't predict what the climate changes in our earth will happen. What happen if our earth become polluted or whatsoever. If we don't have the satellite, if we stop functioning the satellite, what will happen to our earth in the future? What will happen? What do you think it will happen? And no, thank you. And it actually can cause an unfortunate to us. It could actually bring misfortune to us. Another thing is when he said that in this earth we need to explore a lot of things. We have a lot of unique animals, we have unique places, but do you think we shouldn't care about the space? Do you think we shouldn't just like, oh, I don't really have to care about the space, but we actually live in the earth, you know? We have to investigate more about earth. We need to. Do you ever heard about Big Bang theory? How did Big Bang theory being studied based on the space, right? Based on the how does the Big Bang theory is related to the space itself? How did Big Bang actually related to the atoms? You know, if you don't learn about that thing, how are we going to learn about chemistry right now? What do you think? And then yeah, about when my prime minister said that if you don't learn about space exploration, if you don't learn about it, we can't come out with a new theory. Before this, gravity came up from the when we study about space exploration. How does the gravity happen? How does the scientists found out about this? But when we actually continue studying about this thing, we can actually came up with a new theory and we can learn about these things in physics or chemistry or whatsoever.
Please.
Yes, please.
About the gravity, isn't it Newton learned the gravity on the earth? Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Yes, it actually learned to the earth, but it actually relate with the space. Okay, moving on to
POI. How does it
thank you.
relate to space? Okay.
Not yet. And then the better job opportunities could actually have when this space exploration have is existed, because a lot of people will study about this thing. A lot of people need to, when we want to build a shuttle or a rocket, we need a lot of people, and have a better job opportunities when we have. And at the end, this can actually help the government, since it increase the taxes in the government itself, and it can help the government to become a developed country, and it can actually help the poor. So in the case of humanitarian, it actually be solved if we are
POI.
focusing in this space. Not yet, please. And then uh, next, I would like to recap some of the point of our government team. First, opposition team. First, it will create a scientific and technical jobs, since it can boost the economy, and also even though it was still many people will be involved, and we have bigger job opportunities. And then it could protect our planet from the environment, because the satellite can provide data for our climate changes, and also major problems such as tsunami. And then when we have when we actually have the satellite, we can know what we are facing, and enhance the safety on our earth. And then the last point of our opposition team, that we can cooperate with the countries around the world, when like for example the Ukraine, which they have the diplomatic relationship, and the Canadian give a radar satellite to help Ukraine fight off Russia invasion. So before I end my speech, I would like to repeat the stance, which is we as a government team we as the opposition team believe that space exploration provide a scientific theory to help us develop a better life for human beings. With that, I raise my case.
Okay, thank you to the opposition whip for the speech. The speaker spoke for 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Okay, now both of the government and opposition are given 1 minute to prepare their reply speech. Okay, the time is up, and now I call upon the speaker from the opposition side to deliver their reply speech.
I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, here we, the opposition side, we see how this space exploration can give benefits to us, since we need to acknowledge that the importance of this space exploration is not narrowed down to only is not only narrowed down to only about space and not giving we, the human that live on the earth, any benefit at all. First of all, what we are going to do, the thing we are going to debate here that the government side always bring about is the humanitarian versus we, the one who want the space exploration. Yes, this is not a good comparison, ladies and gentlemen. We know and we acknowledge how the humanitarian problems is a big thing. But you need to acknowledge that this space exploration is also one of the studies that help us to avoid any bad consequences that can harm the human itself, which means already harm one of the human rights which is to be lived safely on the earth, ladies and gentlemen. So, like we stated before, no one could survive if the steroid hit us without any warning. So, I don't think that by stop funding this, we can actually give the benefit to the people on earth, ladies and gentlemen. So, the government side didn't give us by stop funding space exploration, the money will be directly to solve the humanitarian problem, or the humanitarian would be solved if we stop funding on this space exploration. They didn't say that. They didn't show any urgency that by stop funding this space exploration, this humanitarian problem will be solved quickly. So here, we, the opposition side, our best case scenario is, first thing, we provide to you many job and studies scope to be learned by the human, since there's people who really want or really interest in this first. Secondly, we also give you that one of the space exploration benefit is to protect us from any harms and to protect our planet at the first place. Since we are going to give money to fund on the technology that can help us in order to detect or to give data about the current situation that happened on the earth and outside the space in order to make sure that human is already in a safe condition. Besides, they also didn't give any alternative to anything happen if we stop funding the space exploration if one of the important things is related to it. Are the government side are going to take all the blame if something happened to the people on the earth, and it is all because we stop funding on this space exploration? I don't think they can take the blame, because this is such a serious topic, ladies and gentlemen. So we, from the opposition side, we believe that this motion, this House would stop funding space exploration should not go through, since we saw that this space exploration could provide us a specific theory and a good data to help us, the human, to improve and develop a better life, not only for us here, also for the people in the future. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to the opposition side. Now to conclude, let's welcome the speaker from the government side to give the reply speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have debating about the House would stop funding space exploration. First of all, we already stated that we are not against the space exploration, but the funding need to stop. The financial aid need to stop. We love technology, but we are talking about the financial aid because we already have the technology, we already have the data, we already have the information. So why need more? We already have a lot of resources in this. Why we need more? Okay. In our sense, I believe that the stop of funding space exploration can benefit the humanity. Okay, right now I want to highlight the mistakes done by the opposition and why we should win this case. The first of all, the opposition don't even answer the burden of proof, which is how stop funding space exploration can be an issue for our country, which is Malaysia. They didn't say in detail about Malaysia, and the opponent failed to answer the BOP. And then the way opposition said just like the humanity is not important. Other things on earth and isn't other things on earth is not important. And about the scientists, well, the scientists healthiness, there are a lot of air pollution that being happen when there are the spaceship being shuttled. Okay, next, the cost already high. The government, our side already stated that the cost is already high and we need to stop. We are not talking about to increase the financial, okay? And the 4 million only for one spaceship, isn't it? Is too high. Why don't we use the money to contribute to the people that needs it, isn't it? We have a lot of crises even now, Ukraine and Russia. Okay, talk about Ukraine. The opposite side already talk about by this space exploration, we can have cooperation with other nations. But do you know about Ukraine? Do you know how much the GDP of Ukraine? Okay, if Malaysia is 100 GDP, the Ukraine is 50. But the Ukraine is poorer than Malaysia. Their statistic is way down than Malaysia. They are not that technology. So how can they have the financial aid? They need help. And about the job opportunity. Good job need a good education. So why not with the financial aid we use it to for the stabilize the economy status in other countries. And even we keep doing this space exploration. Are you sure that in every nation all the B40, M40 and T20 will be balanced? Even today, we are having a massive inflation. Do you really know that? This is a very heavy issue. And then about the protect planet and environment. The space is already full with rubbish. And I think it is our responsibility to stop a minute and give the space a time to heal, isn't it? And we want the people in all in the nation will be good. And last but not least, we from our side, we stated about the cost is too high first. Second is we stated about the space pollution, and we even stated a little bit about the earth exploring, and we need to focus on the environment. We need to focus on what we have already on this earth. Okay, and therefore I believe we win this point since the opposition team has never responded to many things. The negative team never show out how we can be benefit others. And overall, we win our key points and have refuted the opposition team. Therefore, we win this debate and ask you to choose your stance. Thank you. To choose our stand. Thank you.
All right, thank you to the government side. So that is all for this round's debate session. On behalf of the House, I thank the adjudicators for their assistance. I congratulate all the debaters on their performance. Now the host will assign all the adjudicators to the breakout room to discuss. While the debaters, please remain in this room in the meantime. You can go for a short break, drink some water, or go to the toilet, but please make it short as there will be some brief feedbacks from the adjudicators.
Good game, good game.
Tahniah semua. Tahniah Pusat Tamhidi.
Gempak dia korang.
Pandai korang cakap PI Aku tengah terfikir waktu aku macam tu, apa yang aku buat?
Dulu korang menang ke TAMHIDI ni? Korang ke yang menang?
Kita orang nombor nombor 2. Kita orang tak menang nombor 1.
Oh, korang B. Oh, lepas tu Tamhidi A nombor 1 lah.
Kejap. Apa?
Kalau Tamhidi A, Ustaz Tamhidi A yang nombor 1 lah.
Yang nombor 1 tim lain.
Oh, dia tak
Hello
hantar.
guys. Baik doh korang doh. Baik doh.
Korang
Baik,
punya
baik.
English, korang punya English bagus.
Kamu punya English bagus.
Ah.
Dia bersudah.
Nombor 2 Tamhidi ya.
Iya, betul. I even think
Guys, sekejap. For
Okay.
Tamhidi, can you list your names again? Who's the Prime Minister? Who's the... sorry, not Prime Minister. Opposition leaders semua. Can you list down and send in the chat box?
Okay, jap.
Okay, sambung balik sembang.
tak, sebab macam tadi dia terfikir. Okay, korang Tamhidi selalunya umur apa? 19, 20 19 and 20 kan?
19.
Suram.
19 je.
19 je. Okay, 19.
Wow, garangnya.
19 bercakap macam ni. Dulu aku. Betul.
Kita orang ni noob.
Tak apa, kita orang pun 3 kali je training.
Dia dah terjun.
Semak masuk ke? Tak.
Semaal single tick.
Cuman...
Korang fakulti apa?
Kos. Tanya kos.
Kos. Tamhidi apa?
Aduh.
Kita orang perubatan pergigian dan sains.
Oh. Patutlah kita stay rasa tu kan.
Bahang.
Stay
Okay,
stop tau.
ni kamu kena ingat benda ni. FPSK adalah antara yang sangat kita orang macam, ya Allah tolonglah jangan jumpa FPSK apa-apa.
Good luck debate next year.
Group 1 ada daripada FEM. Saja kan nak rekrut kan.
Tak ada dari FEM.
Ada tak sudut Tamhidi daripada FEM? Sekejap, apa soalan kita ni? Betul ke soalan ni?
Tamhidi account.
Oh, Tamhidi
Dia masuk
account.
debat.
Tim satu lagi tu semua budak akaun.
Takutlah. Aku dia takut dengan dia orang.
Tak apa, at least ada pelapis lah.
Mudah kat kita sebab ada pelapis. Semoga dia orang masih terbuka hati lah nak join, amin.
Style recording.
Sebab kita orang dulu, batch kita orang yang Tamhidi semua tak masuk balik dah. Dah masuk degree semua tak masuk debat dah. So kita orang lah terpaksa jadi mangsa.
Jadi korang teruskan lah
Mesti
yang
tempat
bagus.
Korang semua tak pernah debat lah sebelum ni.
Pernah.
Baiduri ni
Hadis
seorang
je.
je yang pernah.
Baiduri
Pernah lah, tapi bahasa lain, bahasa Arab. Tapi tu pun jangan wow lagi sebab skrip tu orang lain yang buat kan. Dia cuma disebabkan skrip tu orang buat. Bukanlah orang buat. Kita macam dia yang betulkan 70%.
Baiduri tahun lepas kan Arab?
Tahun lepas Arab. Itulah Alfa juga yang jaga kan.
Rasa
Tengok macam Alfa lah.
Kenapa muka Kak Alfa dengan Kak Baduri sama?
sama bulat.
Kalau
Aduh.
Tadi kita lawan apa? Gigi kan?
tadi lawan gigi.
Gigi
Seorang
something.
Takut weh lawan gigi. Aku tak
FPZ.
nak lawan gigi.
Bukan lawan gigi, lawan tim dia orang.
Lawan gigi.
FPZ. FPZ B kan?
Satu dia.
Gigi
Cerita.
memang semua pernah debat ke?
Seorang kan?
rasanya.
Seorang kan?
Seorang,
Dua orang.
tapi-
Orang tu.
Tapi sebab
Yang
dia
tu soalnya
sangat
bahasa Arab.
sangat strong
Seorang
tau.
tu bahasa Arab,
Oh.
seorang lagi tu pernah Tamhidi juga, tak silap.
Tapi yang second tu full juga.
Betul kita kat laut semua. Kita tengah
Yang second tadi pun fluent juga kalau kira.
Tapi yang
Semua
first tu
So obvious lah. Yang
Ui.
So obvious lah.
Sengit
Yang
betul.
compare.
Fluent gila.
Itu jangan di-compare.
Okay, dah sampai.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Salah.
Right, so we're back on the